It's a beautiful Friday morning in the fabulous Florida Keys. I'm Gary McAdams with eXp Realty. We're already off to a great day today. I was just outside reading my morning newspaper the last few minutes, which anyone who's ever read the Key West Citizen knows you can easily read the whole thing cover to cover in less than 10 minutes. It's already 85 degrees outside. It is a little breezy, but that's kind of been the theme of the week. It's been breezy all week long. If you want to trust the weather forecast, we're supposed to have some rain this afternoon. Also, if you want to trust the weather forecast, tomorrow it's supposed to be very, very heavy downpours all day long, running right through Sunday morning throughout all of the Florida Keys. But that's okay. We have those weekends every now and then, and I'll take a rainy weekend in Key West over a beautiful sunny weekend in Detroit or Fargo every time. I'm still a little puzzled why people would live in Detroit or Fargo when they can live in the fabulous Florida Keys. But speaking of which, let's make you a resident of the Florida Keys. This is my morning market MLS update video I do every day right about this same time. I report all the new listings in Key West and the lower Keys that have come on the market in the last 24 hours. If you watch this video every day, you will be ahead of most buyers. You'll know about all the new listings from Big Pine Key down to Key West the same day the realtors know about them. I find most buyers will wait for a home to come onto a site like Trulia or Zillow or Realtor.com or a website of that nature before they inquire about it. And the problem they face there is by the time those websites put a home live online, it's usually been on the multiple listing service a couple days and all the good deals are already gone. In a perfect scenario, those websites are supposed to update live off the MLS, and the instant we put a listing in the MLS, they're supposed to be on those websites, but that's not always the case. But if you watch this video and you see something you like, you can call me right away and I'll make an appointment for us to go see the property, or if you're not here locally, I'll go do a FaceTime walkthrough video with you, or I'll do a video and send it to you, or take a bunch of pictures. If you like what you see, we can write up an offer and have you under contract on the home before most buyers ever even knew it was available for sale. You can also get a much more detailed description of these listings, including photos, if you follow my blog, keywestinvesting.com. I'll put that web address in the description below. I update that every day from the multiple listing service as well. There's a lot more information on the blog, a lot more details about the homes, any unique feature the home may have. It'll list things like room uses, room dimensions. There'll be photos of the inside of the home, photos of the outside of the home. If the home happens to be waterfront or happens to have a pool, there'll be photos of the pool, photos of the water view, photos of the boat dock if there is dockage. It's just a lot more information than I can cram into a couple-minute quick YouTube video. Again, the web address is keywestinvesting.com, and it's updated from the Florida Keys multiple listing service, including photos, every day. If you like this video, please let me know. Click that thumbs up like symbol down below. If you want to see more videos of this nature and stay current with the Florida Keys real estate market so you know what's being listed at what prices every day, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I do a video just like this each morning. We have 4 new listings to go over today, but before I give you the information on the listings, the state of Florida's legal department makes me cover the boring stuff. The information I'm about to give you comes directly from the Florida Keys multiple listing service. I'm not accepting any responsibility for any of these listings. I'm not claiming any of these listings to be my own listings. And I'm not accepting any responsibility if there's any inaccuracies in any of the listings. I'm simply reading it to you directly from the Florida Keys multiple listing service. All 4 of today's listings were in Key West. There were no new listings today in the lower Keys. The first 2 kind of run together. They're at the same address. They're in Key West's Old Town neighborhood on Ash Street. Ash Street is one of my favorite streets in all of Old Town. I have probably 2 or 3 of my top favorite streets, and Ash Street is right up there. It's a very well-kept street. It has mostly very upscale homes. It's close enough to downtown and Duval Street that you can walk, but it's far enough away that you don't have tourists parking in front of your house and find beer cans in your front yard and drunks peeing in your bushes, and very rarely have to fight for parking if you don't have enough parking in your driveway for your cars. It's just a very nice street. This particular one, though, the two listings run together. They're both 710 Ash. The first one is 710 Ash Street Front. It's a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom, 1,274 square foot house. It has a small dip pool in the backyard, or as they call it in Key West, a cocktail pool. It's about the size of a large hot tub, but they call it a pool, just enough to cool down in those hot summer days. They work just fine. Very few people have a pool where you actually swim and do laps in Key West. This property is being offered at $1,650,000, which is an excellent price for a house on Ash Street that size. My concern with it is what runs it into the next listing. They're both at the same address. They're both 710 Ash Street. So even though it's listed as a single-family house, there's two residences at one address in one building. If you have any maintenance that needs to be done to the common areas, there is no governing HOA and no rules, no fees, no reserve money, no financials. So it's really on the honor system that each neighbor is going to pitch in their fair share and upkeep everything. And if you get a good neighbor, which in most cases when you're spending that kind of money on a home, you do get a good neighbor, but not always. If you get a good neighbor, each person does the right thing, puts in their fair share, and everything works out great. But if you get a bad neighbor, you might be stuck with picking up the tab for the maintenance for the entire property because your neighbor won't throw in their fair share. I've seen cases of this nature go to court, and the person doing the suing usually loses because there is no governing HOA documents saying who is responsible for what other than the inside of your own home. That's my only concern with that one. Otherwise, I absolutely love Ash Street. This is a great price for a property this size. That third bathroom makes a huge difference if you're going to have company. Then the next one is 710 Ash Street Rear. It's behind the main one. It's a little bit smaller. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom, 853 square foot property. It's also listed as a single-family home, but it's at the exact same address. This one's offered at $1,200,000, which again is an excellent price for a house on Ash Street. Great location. I'm just concerned with that being the same address where there is no governing rules. And you're taking a big chance that your neighbors are going to do the right thing, which, like as I said, most cases it is that each neighbor does pitch in their fair share, but unfortunately there's no guarantee. If you're willing to run that risk, these are two great properties. They're both very well priced and they're on a beautiful street. Next, we go to the Truman Annex, which is a gated community. They have several condo complexes inside the Truman Annex, as well as a bunch of single-family homes. They have a lot of very large single-family homes. This listing is in a condo complex called the Foundry. It's a 2-bedroom, 3-bathroom, 1,216 square foot condo. It's being offered at $1,450,000, which is an excellent price for a unit in the Foundry. The Truman Annex is very popular for many reasons. The two biggest reasons, one is the location. You can walk to Duval Street, you can walk to the Truman Waterfront Park, you can walk to the Coffee Butler Amphitheater if you want to see a concert. You can walk to Mallory Square to see the world-famous Key West sunset. If you want to go downtown to Duval Street and have dinner, do some shopping, or partake in the nightlife, we have every single type of restaurant you can imagine, ranging from a Wendy's to bar food to high-end fine dining. You're very close to Duval Street, easy walk. There's no need to even have a car if you're in the Truman Annex other than your weekly trips to the grocery store. The other big advantage to the Truman Annex is the rental situation. They have a transient license which allows them to be rented in 7-day intervals. The majority of Key West is a 30-day minimum rental period by law, so you can get a little bit of rental income off this property if you're not using it full-time. That's always a nice advantage. That being said, the Truman Annex licenses were forecasted to umbrella in 2025. They're going to be revoted on in 2025. The licenses may or may not go away. If they go away, you'll be back to that 30-day minimum rental period that the rest of Key West has by law. My personal opinion, and I want to be very clear, this is my opinion, I think the vote is going to be favorable for the Truman Annex and they are going to get the licenses. That being said, it's just my opinion. If you're buying the property because you need the rental income and that's the only way you can pay the bills for the property, I would hold off buying in the Truman Annex till after the 2025 vote. The last property we have is out on Sunset Key. Sunset Key is a private island. It's about half mile off Key West. If you've ever been to the Sunset Festival, you've looked across Key West Harbor at Sunset Key. Sunset Key is very arguably home of some of the most expensive real estate in all of Key West. Some of the big waterfront mansions out there will go over $15 million. The only way to get out to the island is by a shuttle ferry that leaves from Opal Key Resort. Depending on when you were in Key West, you may remember the resort called Opal Key. You may remember it being called Margaritaville. You may remember it being called the Westin. I still call it the Hilton. That's what it was when it was built about 30 years ago. It was a Hilton. I actually used to captain the boat out to Sunset Key, and it left the Hilton Marina, so I'm still used to calling it the Hilton. This is a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom, 1,920 square foot house. It's being offered at $3,695,000, which is extremely low for a home on Sunset Key. Anything in the $3 million on Sunset Key is definitely the low end. As I said, some of them will go up 5, 6, 10, even $15 million. So if you want to live on a true island where you have to take the boat out there but still have all the luxuries and amenities of Key West, this is a great opportunity to get into Sunset Key at a low price. That's all we have for today. If you want to see any of these homes or any home anywhere in the fabulous Florida Keys, give me a call at 305-731-0501. I look forward to hearing from you. I look forward to showing you homes in the Florida Keys. And more importantly, I look forward to making you my neighbor. I'm Gary McAdams with eXp Realty.